If you'd like to see more of our videos, please subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Razak at CMtrading. Today's March 12th, 2020, and today is Thursday morning. So again, the main event of the day, or the main real focus of the day, is what's happening with this coronavirus. Yesterday, World Health Organization has labeled the virus a pandemic, which pretty much translates that every human being on this earth is susceptible to this virus in one form or another through direct contact or indirect contact, which makes this virus a very, very scary scenario. Now, we haven't seen something like this in 100 years. This is something that's colossal. Now, the economies around the world are trying to shift, the governments are trying to shift their economy in order to facilitate a soft landing. It shouldn't be a recession or a depression right after something like this. But looking at the markets today, we do have some important news coming out today at 2:45 out of the European Union. We have a main refinancing rate, which should actually decrease the interest rates there as to stave off some sort of recession in Europe. Now, there will be at 3:30 South African time an ECB press conference as well. Now, outside of this news, besides the World Health Organization calling the coronavirus a pandemic, yesterday President Donald Trump spoke in front of the nation, banning all travel to and from Europe to the United States from Friday evening. As a result, further, the National Basketball Association, which one is the largest sports arenas across the country in the United States, has suspended all play for the remainder of the season. So you could see how strong and how scary this situation can develop to be. Now, the markets are reeling from this. Looking at the Forex symbols, we saw the dollar actually mostly stronger across the board, while we saw the Dow Jones tumble again in overnight trading over 1,000 points due to Trump's travel ban on Europe. And obviously, adding to the flame is this situation with the NBA. Now, looking at the commodities, gold and oil both are weak, okay, which is adding some fury, okay, to the situation, because you would expected gold actually to rally here as a safe haven asset, but it's not. So this is an indication the markets are really scared that this is going to have a really adverse effect on the economic markets in general. Lastly, looking at the stocks, they're pretty much still trading together with the Dow Jones, and it's mostly emotional trading at this stage. It's not fundamental, it's not technical anymore. It's mostly people just get me out, let me be liquid, let me have cash. But let's take a look at the markets to see some opportunities if as the day actually proposes. So we're going to start here with the Euro USD at a weekly chart, and you can see pretty much we had that real big rally up to 115. Now, there's not much of support here, okay, just really a minor support, this 112.60-ish level. If we do break it, then we should certainly see it back into this 110-ish level. Now, remember, one of the countries that is affected mostly is located in the European Union. It's Italy, which has the most cases of coronavirus and also the most deaths outside of China. So this does have some bearing, and obviously they do trade the euro there. So something to consider if that happens and unfolds later today. Now, looking at some of the other US-based currencies, the GBP USD also on the bottom of its range right here. Nothing, jumping out saying, okay, it's going to break out, but just be aware of it. If the euro does have some sort of pressure on it, some sort of selling pressure, some of the other commodities, or some of the other Forex symbols will actually play catch up. If we're looking at the USD ZAR, okay, very, very weak, all the way up to 1650. Right here at that double top. So if it does break above this area-ish, and does sell off with a candle, okay, or actually rally here with a candle, okay, I do expect it to get to this 18-ish level possibly, okay, so something to consider as this unfolds later today. Now, speaking of gold, 1636, I would have expected this to be somewhere in the 1700s, okay. As everybody knows, when the Dow Jones goes up, the gold goes down, and when gold goes up, the Dow Jones goes down. And here the Dow Jones is going down and gold is not going up. So it may be a correctional move that we'll have maybe back into the 1574-ish level. That's how colossal this could be. Now, looking at oil, trading at this double bottom here at $31 a barrel. I do expect this at some point to actually break this further, because this news and this spread of this virus is so slow that it's only hitting the US markets now. Okay, we're in the middle of March. Okay, it came out initially in December in China. So we haven't really felt the effects of it, the full effects of it, as this is unfolding. Now, looking at that Dow Jones, okay, now this is a weekly chart. We're going to jump into a monthly chart for a second just to show you that we set up a Fibonacci retracement, and this really works out very well for a possible support level at this 23,300-ish level. So just be aware of that this may be a point where we bounce off of it. Now, we don't know the full effects of this on the economy, obviously, but if it does break this 22,300-ish level with some momentum, we could definitely see it go back to the 20,000 area. Remember, when Trump came into office, it was trading at 17,800-ish level. So the correction is almost an about face to the economy. Okay, so a lot of corrections happening. Now, looking at the stocks, they pretty much traded with the Dow Jones yesterday. Looking at Apple, we sold off to 275, Amazon down to 1825, Microsoft at 153, Facebook down to 170, but they're not breaking down further. Okay, so at some point, the intrinsic value of the company, despite all the noise that is going on, okay, will be saturated, that there's going to be a boomerang situation. There's going to be a tremendous rally or a short covering, okay, which is going to create this fictitious rally, okay, which we've seen over the last couple of weeks. Last week we had the market go up to 27,000 from the Dow Jones. Okay, if we look at that just in a week of trading, let's just bring that up. We had this massive day, okay, where we went from 25,500-ish level up to 27,000. Okay, so these type of scenarios will continue to happen. They're not going to happen with the as much oomph, and they're not going to happen with as much bounce, because there's going to at some point be real sellers here. Okay, so with that said, there's also going to be a turning point where this is going to hopefully bottom out and create some opportunities on the upside as well. So just trade responsibly today. Okay, it's going to be a volatile day once again, so just be aware of it. This is Fred Razak. I wish everybody a great trading day.